There's one other point that I want to just talk about, and I realise I haven't started painting and we're 20 minutes in. Something that I wanted to mention is that I did show, for example, my husband one of these videos that I made. It wasn't the one for this painting actually, it was a different one. But he was very uncomfortable. He was very uncomfortable with the fact that, that I was tapping on things as they come up, which can seem to be maybe a little bit depressive, maybe a bit upsetting. He was like, it's not uplifting. It doesn't make, it doesn't make you feel good, and you could look a bit crazy and what have you. Well, maybe it does. Those people watching this will have a better idea of that and be able to formulate their own thoughts around that. But actually, do you know what? Those sorts of ways of thinking are the ways of thinking that have kept people stuck inside of their fears and their worries, their anxieties, their phobias. That way of thinking is what has shut people up for centuries. It's not okay to talk about it. It's not okay to recognise that you're feeling a particular way. It's not okay to share it. That is not where we are now. So I want to, recognise that sometimes the things that come up are not pretty. They may not sound good, they may not sound nice, they may not feel like or sound like they are, uplifting things. And to a degree, that's correct, because what we're really focusing in on is, what's our problem? What's the issue? What's the blockage? What is it that's making this feeling of unease, of dissonance, of disharmony that I'm holding in my body, that I can feel and I recognise it's there? And so, in order to get to what that is, we got to go into the dirt, and we've got to get our hands and feet dirty and dive in and start wading through some of our crap, okay? So I recognise that a video on that might not look and sound pretty, but actually, if we want to break through that and come out the other side, and I've given you some of the benefits of the hour and a half that I spent doing this and how that has shifted things for me since then and is showing up in positive ways in my life. So if it looked a bit uncomfortable because I was tapping on feeling stuck, sometimes feeling a bit hopeless and wanting to give up, that's not always easy. And actually, it's probably a good point to say, if that sort of topic, if you are in a really bad place, it may not be the sort of thing that you can just do by watching a video and having a go yourself. You may need to be held and supported through a process. And that's why coming to somebody like me who can help you do that is really important. But not everybody has to do that. Okay, so we can work with our own stuff when we feel we are okay to do that. And most of us are pretty okay at working out whether or not this is something that I can work with or not. If you suffer with depression, anxiety that can suddenly become overwhelming, if you have any sort of depressive thoughts, obviously somebody who may be feeling down and suicidal, it's not going to be a good idea to be tapping on and working on some of your dark stuff on your own. So I am not in any way advising that is something that you should do, but you know when you're in that space. We all know when we're in that space, and even if you don't think you are, but you're not sure, you're a little bit unsure, then that is a sign that you need to probably go and have, guided support to do this. But we don't all have to do that. So this process can be really good for artists who want to develop their art in a different way, move in a different direction, one which is more connected to some sort of inner exploration of their emotions, their thoughts, their feelings. And this is also, an approach that somebody can take who is already perhaps working with energy. And they're working with energy, maybe, someone who's an intuitive and is always picking up on other people's energy and stuff. This would be an amazing process for somebody like that to work with, because you can find a way of, releasing all of that stuff which isn't yours, and actually beginning to refine, what's ours, what's yours, and what is somebody else's, and finding ways of getting that out and putting that out of your system. So it can be really helpful for someone like that, someone who's working with energy, as I was saying, as an acupuncturist or any type of energist, someone working with energy who recognises that actually it would be really good for them to develop a practice like this, because we need to do self-care. We need to look after ourselves, especially when we're looking after other people. And it's really easy when we look after other people to put ourselves last. In fact, you often find people whose tendency to do that are the people who are in those caring professions. So they spend their life looking after other people and putting themselves last. Well, actually, developing a practice like this where you can literally find, sometimes I just come out and spend half an hour and it shifts my energy significantly. I don't think I've actually ever spent more than an hour and a half on something. So this is probably one of the longest times that I've spent on anything, because an hour and a half in terms of energy, shifting energy, working on a theme and doing this type of work, that's enough time to do a significant amount of work and to really shift things. You don't have to spend, days and days doing something. And doing this once or twice a week, I think, is a massive self-care exercise. So hopefully that gives a couple of what I think are really important reasons actually to do this. I love doing this, and I would really be excited for other people to want to do that too. So I hope that that maybe some people can see the benefit in this and how it's going to shift and change their life. And I'd be really happy to work with anybody who wants to do that. But anyway, let's begin this process that I was going to do, which is working on this.